Hello friends, and welcome back to Vlogmas 10, I think it is. Also, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to whip up some chocolate chip M&M cookies. Now, it's a little bit on the early side to be making cookies. It is December 11th. I used to make a buku amount of chocolate chip cookies in the past. But you can also freeze these. You can roll them in a ball, put them in the freezer to flash freeze them, and then you can put them in Ziploc baggies already scooped out. And then you could pull them out of the freezer 5-6 minutes, room temperature, and right in the oven on 350. So, finally, we're back to a baking video. So, I have everything pretty much all set up. So, I want to just make sure this is dried out because I rinsed it out. I did take 2 sticks of butter out to bring it to room temperature, but if you're new here, this kitchen stays kind of cold no matter how long you have the butter sitting out for. So I'm going to use the paddle attachment. You can very well just mix this whole thing by hand. I'm not going to. And we're going to get rocking and rolling and make some semi-sweet chocolate chip cookies with M&Ms. Now you can turn these into monster cookies. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of those. Where it has M&Ms and you can actually dye the color. You can put nuts in it, all kinds of stuff. I wanted to make up some M&M chocolate chip cookies for the holidays. So 2 sticks of butter are going in. But I definitely want to preheat the oven to 375 because I'm just going to make a couple in the oven and the rest I'm going to put into the freezer for later. So this is an easy way to get some of your cookie baking done in advance. I'll try to speak up. I definitely need to get better mics. Okay, so 2 sticks of butter. And then I have the brown sugar and the white sugar already. Actually, I'm going to beat this first because it's chilly in here today. You can put it in the microwave, soften it up some, but then sometimes you end up letting it get a little too soft. Like it'll end up melting. So just kind of whip it up a little bit, get it going so it's not so cold. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put the brown sugar and the white sugar inside, which is already measured out. I'll leave the recipe down below. And we need, I always say this in all my videos, please make sure you use pure vanilla extract. We're going to start mixing this up and creaming it. So you want to beat this all together until it gets creamy. If you notice when I bake over here, I always start it off on low so it doesn't go flying everywhere. You can still see some pretty big butter chunks in here, so we're going to have to cream this. Making a lot of noise because it's bouncing all over the counter today for some odd reason. Let me get a spatula so we can scrape it down. Get all the butter off the sides. And continue to cream. Okay. Now I want to use my fresh chicken eggs, which will be 2 large eggs. Chickens in this way, different sizes, and I will crack it in a separate bowl. So we have 2 beautiful fresh chicken eggs. You always want to crack your eggs separately in case, God forbid, you get a shell in it, you'd have to start over. Sometimes you get fresh eggs. I'll save these for the chickens. Feed back to them. Sometimes you can get a fresh egg and something could be wrong with it. Always dump your eggs in a separate bowl. But look at how gorgeous they are. Okay, we're going to go in with the 2 eggs and start creaming that together. Normally you should put your eggs in one at a time, but I'm just going to give it an extra creaming. You can beat this all you want until you put your flour in. If you go crazy with the flour in there, you can make a tough cookie. Until it's nice and creamed. And I will bring you closer so you can see what that looks like. Let me lower you down a smidgen. It takes more time to record the video than it does to make these cookies. It's basically just like making chocolate chip cookie batter, but with a twist with some M&Ms in it. Okay, so I'm going to beat this one more time. Okay, now I have my 1 teaspoon of sugar, my teaspoon of baking soda, and my 2 1/4 cups of flour all in this bowl. I'm just going to mix the baking soda and salt up a little bit. And we're just about done. You believe that? All in with no major mess. You can always put a dish towel over the top of your KitchenAid so it doesn't fly everywhere, or you can just go like this a few times till it starts incorporating. And then we're going to have to end up scraping this down. But if you don't have the patience and you're still losing some, just go over it. Like so. Okay, now I want to scrape it. Scrape down the sides of the bowl. Get it off the paddle. So that we can give it a good mixing. Mix it until you see all the flours incorporated. I'm going to scrape everything down. So I'm going to go in with some chocolate chips and some M&Ms. You can just dump the M&Ms in and let your KitchenAid just mix it real quick. The M&Ms, well, you might crack them all. So, not the best spatula. Okay, let's get our chocolate chips ready. I'm going to go in with, I think, a cup and a cup of M&Ms. And that should be good. I can get into the M&Ms. Okay. Packaging didn't want to open up. I'm going to go in with 1 cup chocolate chips. Give it a quick whirl. And then I may just end up mixing it by hand, or maybe I'll take my chances. We're going to go in with some M&Ms. Let's see if we could do it super quick without breaking them. Here we go. Look at that gorgeousness. Okay. Let me put this stuff away. I'll bring you back. I'll make a couple with you, and the rest I'm going to end up showing you how I'm going to freeze them. Okay, so I just cleaned up my mess, scraped the cookie dough off the paddle. And now I just put a little parchment paper on there because I'm only going to make a few for them here, and the rest I'll freeze for later. So, oven's preheated to 375. The timer went off, so that's all ready and good to go. I know that they buy these types of cookies, so I figured I would make some. If you use an ice cream scooper, you should get the same size for every cookie. I'm going to just put one in the middle. We're going to bake these for 10 to 12 minutes. If you want to be a little uber extra fancy, you can just take an M&M. It's going to spread out anyway. And you could just take one, put it right in the center of each cookie, like so. Even though we have quite a bit, full cup in here. It's not exactly in the middle, but you get the idea. Okay, 10 to 12 minutes. I will bring you back when these come out of the oven, but they look good. Okay, so there's a couple ways that you can save the cookie dough. You can either put it in parchment paper or wax paper, roll it into a log. You can scoop them all out and take the cookie sheet and put it in the freezer and flash freeze them, which is how I did my garlic. I don't think I'm going to do that this time. Let me see which way I'm going to save the cookie dough. Oh yeah, that's right. You can also put it in a freezer gallon bag and then just bring it out in advance and scoop it out. So I might go that way. Or you can roll it and cut it into slices when you take it out of the freezer. Just make sure you take it out of the freezer a little bit in advance. So what I think I'm going to do, let me check the freezer. Okay, I think I'm going to put mine in a log, because there's not really a whole lot of room in the freezer. So I'm just going to use some wax paper. Let me get a more heavier spoon. You can get this into 2 logs if you want. Like I said, the kitchen is really cold today. Just put it in the middle. Just give you an idea. You can just use this piece as your shaper. And that will look the best, but it will be fine. We want the thickness to kind of be the same. This is a half a log that I'm doing right now. And then when you go and take it out of the freezer, well, it's a little bit thicker in the middle, so I'm going to fix that. But when it comes out of the freezer, you just slice it. Pretty easy peasy. You can also use your hands with a little bit of water just to get the thickness that you want. There you have it. And then we're going to roll it up and put it in a Ziploc baggie. And I'm going to do the same to the next part of this cookie batch. So I made a single batch. If you need to make a whole lot more because it's the holiday times, you would just double the ingredients. And I know you're not supposed to eat raw cookie dough, but I do it all the time. And yeah, so you can double the batch, but this is going to be enough for them for here. And let me finish getting this the shape that I want. I'm most likely going to leave it in this, and I am just going to put it in a baggie. If you wanted to roll it into like a log, you can do that too. So you have it right there, and then you can just cut it. If you bring it to room temperature, you can even roll it into balls. So I'm going to get the rest of this out without boring you, and then hopefully those cookies will be out of the oven momentarily. Okay, I decided that I'm going to scoop the rest of these out, and I will flash freeze these, and then I'll just put them in a freezer baggie. I decided to change my mind and do some flash frozen. This is just on some wax paper. And then when you take them out of the freezer, once they're mostly frozen, like I said, just put them in a Ziploc baggie, airtight container, and you can pull these out during the holiday season as you want them or need them. Maybe a quick home-baked good for someone that's stopping by. Okay, so I'm going to get these in the freezer. And let me check the cookies. Ooh, they spread out big time. Okay, I'll bring you back as soon as they're done. Okay, so let me show you this because I put a timer on for 12 minutes. Let me pull these out very quickly because I want to explain something. If you like your cookies a little bit more chewier in the inside, you could take it out. At this point, the edges are brown, but I'm just going to give them a whack. Flattens them a little bit. I'm going to rotate the tray. And I'm going to put them in for like another 2 minutes. Okay, I just took the cookies out. These look good to me because these are going to be for fresh eating. Make sure that's nice and clear. This is just a quickie batch for here. And I have all the other cookies in the freezer. I'm flash freezing them, and then I'm going to use a gallon Ziploc baggie, and that's how I'm going to store them, and I'll pull them out. As we get a little bit closer to the holiday, you could just pull them out and make them. You could do a lot of your cookie dough that way. Today we did chocolate chip M&M, and I have quite a few more cookies that I need to bake. But let's go do our advent calendar. But don't the cookies look yummy? Okay, I keep my calendar in here. So let's grab it. I've already done some cleaning up in the room, and let's see. Neighbor's dog's barking. Okay, today is day number 10. Nope. I'm sorry. Today is Vlogmas 11. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so let's see. Here's 11 right here. So sorry. I said 10 in the beginning of the video. I think as we get closer along in this particular calendar that I'm grateful that I was able to find at TJ Maxx, we'll probably end up with the bigger bears. And there's 2 puzzles and a connect the dots. So there is today's little candy. 11. Do you believe that? Wow, it's kind of flying by. So this is the Master Swiss chocolatier, and it is delicious. So I hope that you enjoyed the cookies. I'm going to sit that there and come back and eat it. Let's go back to the cookie. I wanted to let them cool for a second. I'm just going to sit you down right there. And let's pop one open, shall we? Look at that deliciousness. Can never go wrong with something homemade. It's got the perfect texture for a cookie. A little bit chewy on the inside, and that's the way that I like the cookies to come out. They look amazing. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you tomorrow for whatever else we get into, and it'll be, I'm sure, amazing. So, I will leave the ingredients down below. But I hope you had fun on a couple ways how you can start making cookies in advance, to flash freeze them, roll them into a log or a square and just cut them. Just take them out in advance. If you're scooping them out, I showed you that one. Same thing. They will go into a Ziploc baggie as soon as they are frozen, because I'm flash freezing them. And then I'll just pull them out in advance as I need them. So I love you all. Hope you enjoyed today's Vlogmas, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye, friends.